It's Brighton against Newcastle United down at the Amex Stadium on the south coast. And this is the second game of this Premier League season. Unfortunately, I can't be there, but I'm definitely going to be at the Wolves match on the 28th, I think it is, and I cannot wait. So today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the lineup and what we can expect today. And after the match, I'm going to give you my reaction as to what I thought about the result and the performance. It's coming up. Welcome back, my name's Eddie. Welcome to my channel Tyneside Life, where I cover football, but also history and culture of Newcastle and the general Tyneside area. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm just coming up to 20,000 on my 1-year anniversary of having this YouTube channel, so help me get to that 20k mark, and thank you very much for all your support. So today's match against Brighton is going to be a really tough one. In my opinion, I put Brighton and Newcastle almost side by side in terms of quality and the type of football that we're going to play. And I don't think we've won at the Amex Stadium in the Premier League. They're always a really tough side to beat. Brighton are on the back of a 2-1 victory away to Man United last weekend. Graham Potter has done wonders with this Brighton side, but also not to mention the work that Dan Ashworth did for a couple of years at Brighton, bringing that England DNA blueprint down to Brighton and Hove Albion and turned them into a really tidy side. And they play a really good football, very similar to Newcastle, closing down teams quickly. But also their transfer policy is something I hope Newcastle are going to be doing, is bringing their youth through the system and nurturing them into a type of football ethos that's really working for them down there. And in addition to that, they've sold about £80 million of players recently and haven't brought anybody in that I'm aware of. But I still think they'll finish in the top half of the season. So like I say, yeah, really tough game today. Eddie Howe did say that Brighton are a unique side, and he does acknowledge that this is going to be a really tough game. Personally, I think I'm going to put this down to probably very few goals in the game, maybe it's 0-0 or even 1-1. But the Newcastle side, the team lineup has been released, and the one surprise for me, it's the same as last week, except Sven Botman has been brought in into possibly the left centre-back role, and Dan Burn has been pushed into the left-back, but that could be interchanged throughout the game. I'm not sure what's happened to Matt Targett. I might have missed something, so I'm not sure what's happened to him. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how those work together today. So if you're not sure where Brighton is, it's in the county of East Sussex, right down on the south coast there. But Brighton, of course, is also famous for that film from 1979, Quadrophenia, which was about a big scale-up fight between the Mods and the Rockers who travelled down from London. They had a massive fight on Brighton Beach. Of course, starring in that film was Sting when he was still a young lad. If you haven't seen the movie, I'd definitely recommend you check it out. So yeah, Brighton now playing at the Amex Stadium, a tidy little stadium. They've got a great family club. And anyway, I'm going to catch up on the match events today and see how it unfolds, and I'll speak to you after the game. So it's half-time, 0-0 between Brighton and Newcastle United. And as I thought, really, the stats suggest that it's a really close game. Either side could have snatched a goal there, but I'm in Shearer's Bar, enjoying a freezing cold pint of Aspel cider. I'm not being sponsored by anybody, by the way. Oh. So yeah, let's see how the second half unfolds, and I'll try and get a couple of reactions from Newcastle fans in Shearer's Bar. So it's all to play for in the second half. There you go, it's finished. Brighton 0, Newcastle United 0, which is more or less what I predicted. I thought it would be a really tight game, and I think we have to be happy with that because Brighton had some chances. We cleared 2 off the line. Pope made an outstanding save from a Lallana header. So personally, I'm really pleased with that 1 point. But here on my left here is a guy called Alan. He plays the bass guitar for a Dire Straits tribute band called The Straits UK. Alan, what did you think of that 0-0 draw?
Yeah, very happy with that. I predicted a draw, but I thought there'd be a goal at least. But even more happy that we left Eddie Howe as manager. I think it was a good fit. And basically because he isn't a Geordie, believe it or not, and that is why he can keep himself outside the box, think more rationally as a manager, pick the right team and they'll get involved with us passionate Geordies. I think he's a man for the job with the way ahead.
So you feel you can be a bit more dispassionate and objective about the team without getting pulled into the emotions of the Newcastle fan base?
That is exactly it in a nutshell.
Yeah. So I mean, let's plug your band, it's Dire Straits band. I understand you're playing a gated stadium, or was it Live Lake 85 recently?
That's the one, yeah. It was a great day. It was bringing back the memory of Live 85. It was bands like the weather appeared there, like Brian Adams, Status Quo, obviously Dire Straits, ourselves, Queen, Bowie. Fantastic day.
So that was Alan, bass guitarist from the Straits UK. So I don't know Alan previous to this. He's just been in Shearer's Bar here watching the match, and we got chatting. What a great guy. If you want to see the tribute band, I think they're playing at the Gated Rugby Club on Sunday the 28th of August. Get yourself down there and check them out. Anyway, back to the football, 0-0. I'm happy with that, I have to be, man. You know, and it just reinforced what I said at the beginning of this video. I think Newcastle and Brighton are going to be very similar sorts of sides this season. I think we'll probably finish around each other, probably about in the 8th, 9th position by the end of the season. But a great performance that. Bearing in mind, Brighton in the second half had a lot of possession and had 2 or 3 really good chances, and we managed to scrape a 0-0 draw. And we'll march on forward, so I'm not going to grumble at that. You have to see as well, great show from the Newcastle United fans, travelling all the way down to Brighton. What a massive long journey back it is as well. And I was looking at the temperature, I think it's 29, 30 degrees down there on the south coast, so it must have been sweltering in that game today. So all round, great result for Newcastle, I think. And well done to the Newcastle United fans, and I hope the journey's safe on the way back. I don't think there was any concerns from the performance of Sven Botman and Dan Burn on the left-hand side of the defence. They seem to cope quite well. But we're going to march on, and it's Man City on the 21st, the next match on Sunday. Can't wait for that. And like I said, I can't wait to get myself down to Wolves. I'm going to bring you some footage like you probably haven't seen before, a match day vlog, and I can't wait to do that. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below about this particular result. But also as well, I did a video recently, just a couple of days ago, about Lucas Paqueta and why I think, offering an explanation as to why I don't think Newcastle have put a bid in for him. Sparked a lot of debate, Paqueta has, and whether probably Eddie Howe doesn't see the position he would ordinarily fill as a priority. That might change next week. But if you haven't seen the video, check it out. I'll give a different perspective, I think, to some other media channels that talk about Paqueta. Let us know what you think about all this as well. Goncalo Ramos from Benfica. It looks like Newcastle might put a bid in for him early next week. We'll just have to wait and see. All of these things, Newcastle's result today against Brighton, we're getting a point away from home. Personally, I'm happy with that. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to get me to that 20,000 subscriber point. And anyway, till next time for the Man City game, catch you next time.